Welcome back to Drinks and Discussions True Crime. I am your host, Ghosty Girl Tiff, and as always, I have a beautiful co-host with me today, and it is
Hellcat Bevan.
I almost said batshit Bevan. Hellcat Bevan.
I used to be batshit, but that was very professional, so we went with Hellcat because that just screams professionalism.
It's more professional, yeah,
110%.
So, Bevan, what are you drinking tonight?
As always, I am drinking a Dr. Pepper, and I put vodka in it, or did I? That's really the question. You should guess. We'll see how this podcast progresses, and we're going to be able to tell or not.
I'm drinking a rum and Coke Zero, but I got this new cup today, so I really wanted to use it, so I put it in this cup.
What's the sticker on the cup? Is the sword, or you?
It is a Minecraft diamond sword. Okay, I'm a Minecraft expert. Maybe you'll catch me on the Drinks and Discussions gaming channels and things like that with my sick Minecraft builds.
Yes,
but did you know like 0-calorie drinks like Pepsi and Coke and whatever zero? Yeah, but it also makes you drunk faster. It like increases.
Drinks and Discussions, True Crime. We're also giving the college kids tips out there. Chase your stuff with
Coke
Zero.
Zero, yeah.
Zero.
So, we were going to talk about Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker, but you know what? Netflix, like, pretty much covered it, and I feel like it's almost like a dead horse, like when you're beating a dead horse.
He's like a girl that everybody is.
They've already had a turn with it, yeah. So I don't know. We changed gears. We just switched gears up. We've had some like crazy ice storms and other things we've been going through, and I think we just held on to it for so long. We were just like, screw it, let's do something else. So what are we doing? We're doing Brian Walshe.
Who is Brian?
Brian?
It's not a case that has been covered a lot in like the true crime world.
Yeah, and that's been publicized a lot though in the news world.
It's definitely like an ongoing case, and we don't know the whole story, but we know enough to you lovely people about it.
Well, we're going to talk about just kind of like we did last time, and just kind of our opinion on what we, think could have possibly happened. And I'll be honest, this case reminded me a lot of the Christina Morris case. And I'll tell you why, because Brian could not have been a shittier criminal. He was terrible at planning. He pretty much bombed it from the start, and his behavior is a lot like Enrique and Rochi. Like they found blood in the car and things like that, and they haven't found a body. They did find Christina Morris's body 4 years after she went.
Fun or not so fun fact, actually, the guy that was dating her roommate, so he knew her at the time she disappeared. And kind of giving some insight for it's horrifying. It's horrifying. It doesn't work out though.
But we're not even talking about Enrique or Rochi or Christina today.
Christina, by the way, had disappeared out of Plano, West.
Yes, it was a local case to us. So now that I've been following this case, it totally kind of is reminiscent of when I was following Christina Morris' case in 2014. So let's first talk about a little bit about Brian and his activities in 2016, because I'm going to be honest, I think this says a lot about him.
I also would like to point out the fact that I call Brian SpongeBob Squarehead, because I'm sure our producer is going to put a picture of him up, but he definitely has a square head, and I know that has nothing to do with anything.
But most offensive to SpongeBob, though, who is a beloved character.
Okay, SpongeBob is very scary.
Anyway,
at least he would have been able to soak up the crime scenes.
Oh God, that reminds me of one of the Google searches. But let's go. So in 2016, Brian sold 2 fake Andy Warhol paintings to the owner of a gallery in LA for a lot of money. It was $80,000, and he did it using eBay. So why am I telling you this? Because it's really not related to the story. I'm telling you because, like, this guy was a master of deception and coercion, and he totally didn't cooperate with any of the investigation until the FBI got him. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of seems like he's kind of a shady character.
He's like shady.
Now, as far as art theft goes, I think that's kind of the crime against a rich man. Like, that's kind of it's like a victimless crime. So I'm not really mad at him about the art heist, but I did just want to point it out.
Well, I would like to stop you right there. It actually is not a victimless crime because just the
Talking about like people who are like, you know, trying to make a living. I'm talking about like people who are ripping off the process on this.
I'm professors was right less of because I had no riches.
Well, I'm so sorry for
See,
you. Yeah, but I mean,
getting back into
that's
this,
not exactly what. I mean, he made fake art pieces, you know. So,
and he also doesn't he wasn't like have real estate stuff going on, so it's not like he's over there hurting for money selling Warhol.
no, it was just scams. It was just totally scam. But that's why I say he's a master of deception and coercion, because like he got up this idea to fake Andy Warhol paintings, sell them to some people, make a bunch of money, and then just ghost them. And he thought he was going to get away with that.
That's true.
So that also kind of shows that he is kind of a dumbass. Because of course I mean, he sold it to like the biggest collector of Andy Warhol in like the world.
But he's not going to know this.
Like,
you've seen those guys that have this, just like an example. He sells like $1 million pieces of art, correct? Right. You know the sneaker guys that sell like the $500 sneakers?
They're gonna know.
They see
in a sweatshop and China.
Right, but he thought that this guy wasn't going to be able to tell a fake Andy Warhol, right? Brave.
Right, so whatever. Anyway, he was on house arrest for that crime when this other crime occurred. So,
well, when you say house arrest, you explain what kind of house arrest you're talking.
He had to stay like in the like area that he lived,
but he was allowed to go to like the
pharmacy.
He wore a bracelet, but fun fact is that there was actually no GPS in the bracelet. Right. So, I mean, if they put me on house arrest, I'd probably have an ankle monitor. But they let good old Brian over here.
He could basically go around.
Get a fun pass bracelet and call it a day.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, he had 3 kids and things like that and whatever. He was on this. But so on New Year's Eve 2022, just 2 months ago, we're talking about like super recent. Yes. He and his wife had posted a friend to come over and I assume party a little bit. Like probably not party, but probably have dinner, have some wine, watch the ball drop. Okay, the ball drop. Yeah. And because she went home, her name is Jen. She went home around 1:30. Well, I don't know them, but I know Jen.
Okay, well, there's another guy who was at the party. He was on the trip, but I can only find 2 people. So it's a party.
I don't think it was like a party, but I think they were probably like having fun, having lots of wine and champagne and you know, or whatever.
That sounds like fun to me.
Let's kiss or whatever. So anyway, so they're doing all that. And then like 1 or 1:30 after, you know, it's the new year, go take your ass home, go to bed. That's what everybody did. But suddenly, oh my God, Anna needs to fly to DC like immediately somehow.
She called it like a work emergency, and she was also texting with her mother and said her mother's out of the country. Correct?
Yeah, she still lives in Serbia.
So she was texting her mother in Serbia, Mama, can you come tomorrow? Can you come now? Yeah. So there's something going on in the house that she was trying to get out and like.
So Jen, the friend that I mentioned that they had over, which was probably one of multiple friends, she also had mentioned that like Christmas, which was like less than a week before this, was like super bad. It was really rough. And we'll get to all the Google searches, but on the 27th of December, he searched, what is the best state for divorce for a man? Which I don't even know what he's getting at now. Does he mean like benefits for like somebody like giving a husband things as opposed to like a wife, or I don't know. One of many dumbass Google searches was about divorce like 2 days after this. And just a couple, like 3 days before this, just
to add into it, they had several real estate contacts. So I watched this
like tons. And she was the general manager of like a large real estate.
And when you watch people, this is kind of give a backstory to kind of how the house tensions were rising here. Is obviously they were going through money issues because when he was indicted with the FBI with Andy Warhol, obviously you have to pay that money back. And so basically friends started saying that they started selling off their assets.
Yeah, like even right before she died, she just closed on like a $2 million sale of one of her properties.
One of the properties that they had, they were actually friends with the people that were helping fix it up. The people that were fixing it up, they were renting it from them. They were going to buy it from them. And the lady was saying that her and Anna got into a fight because they had sold it out from under them and sold it to another person. And she goes, it was really out of character for Anna to be so
flipping properties quickly.
But even just to be her mistake, kind of, she was a little bit rougher than she used to be. This is what she was doing, but she was, really having her back, and she was very odd behavior.
And this is a person who, she had built a fortune. She was an immigrant. Yeah, she came to America for the American dream. She built a empire and all of these millions of dollars worth of properties that she had owned, which was all that's all. It's not money that's in a bank, but that's all money that you have invested somewhere. Yeah,
especially being a human
used. If per se your husband sells some big ass paintings on eBay, and they're in serious trouble.
He was probably looking at the best state for divorce because he wanted to figure out how they could take most of her assets.
He was supposed to have an inheritance of her properties and everything if she were to pass away.
Point out something. She was absolutely gorgeous. If you see pictures of her, she's chiseled, breathtaking, and everybody speaks so highly of her. I know it's the same stuff at TrueCrime, but she lit up a room, but everybody said that.
But she also it was different European accent. I just think that's so romantic and
then she just loved.
I love her.
SpongeBob SquarePants,
and then she's married to this little keep. So, like we said, she is I need to fly to DC for work at the last minute. I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but I've got to go right now. And this is New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and she works for a real estate firm. Now, listen, I don't know everything in the world. I really don't know everything, but it's not like she was a freaking person again. I'm talking about she worked in real estate. Do you really think she was she booked 2 days later? Actually, 2 days later, technically 2 days later, to go to DC.
And after that, with a message to her mother,
and then also
come now.
Her phone was turned off at 3:14 a.m. Her phone was turned off that night. So, she's gonna turn her phone off and then go hop on an Uber or something.
And it said that they, investigators have, tracked it on January 2nd, I guess, when she was reported missing, and it tracked her.
It was to her house, yeah. So, that doesn't make any sense, Brian. But anyway, keep going. He says she got in an Uber or a Lyft between 4 and 6 a.m. I'm not going to say that was his first dumbass mistake, but I'm going to say that was one of his first dumbass mistakes. Tell him I think they run 24 hours unless there's ice or whatever. But it depends on if there's a driver who's willing to drive at that time. But also, there was no damn Lyfts or Ubers that were booked at that time to her house.
You have it on the map, so she was getting Uber.
You have to call and say, hello, I don't have any credit card information. I don't know. He's like, can you come to my house at 4 a.m. and pick me up to go to some random ass fucking trip that I haven't even planned excuse me for my language, y'all. Haven't even planned anything out, and
yeah, see you in a minute. Also, I don't want any, I have cash. Not paying with credit card, so there's no, oh, okay, 10 minutes, bye.
Okay, I'll be there in my invisible car soon because nobody saw us anywhere anyway, so.
After the friendly Uber.
Yes, or no one. Yeah, that's true. So she took a Lyft or an Uber. That was confirmed false. He says he got up at 7 a.m., which he started Googling shit at 4:55 a.m., just going to say that. And then he made his kids breakfast, and then he got a babysitter and went to his mom. And I just wanted to also point out that, dude, do you think that if I got a babysitter and then I went to my mom's house, my mom would be really disappointed, right?
Well, your mom, yeah. My mom's not allowed.
Yeah, but she's always with you. I think my mom would be disappointed if I found a babysitter and didn't bring my kids to see her.
Could be make breakfast, let me get a babysitter, let me go over to my mom's nonchalantly. And oh, by the way, another thing about, the fake taxi. He said he took Mama to a grocery store, but they could never find any records of him actually going to the grocery store.
And he said on the way to his mom's house, he got lost driving to his Oh my God. Poor thing. Like there's something wrong. If you're getting lost going to somewhere that is like a like landmark in your life,
Your mom's house.
Your mother's home, and he got lost going there. And 30-minute lost. So he was like very lost. So he also must be very unfamiliar with like the area that he lives in. If you drive the wrong way in 635, you'd start being like, holy shit, dolphin. Oh my God, I'm on 30 now. Let's
Yeah, but also what's funny is, I mean, was he smoking marijuana? Because that's the only time I've ever gotten lost and going 30 minutes in a trip somewhere I knew.
Or if you like stop at a stop sign and the stop sign never comes red, so you just sit there. I've never smoked marijuana before.
I've never either.
But I do have this federally legal Delta 8.
I don't smoke anything.
That's fine.
When they play this in my custody battle, I have that. I put like
My turn is like, they're gonna see you eat a shrimp off of Dr. Pepper and say she's mentally unstable. Bye. Just kidding. No, actually, that's a great idea. So, you know,
I wasn't even prepared. I'm an influencer. You remember you asked me, so you eat shrimp for breakfast. So.
One of my friends, Tiana, if you're watching, I'm talking about you. She was like, I eat shrimp for breakfast.
Oh, no, it has protein, it's healthy, it's good. I mean, I've seen people eat Doritos for breakfast, which is me, so it's
we're just making good choices on this show. But anyway,
we're talking about old Brian, whatever his name is. He's just he's not making good choices.
But he lost and he didn't use his GPS to go to his mom's because his cell phone, he left it at home and he laid it on his shoulder.
In 2022.
Who? Like, I think it's really obvious that he left it at home so he couldn't be tracked. I mean, is that not like super obvious?
Which, by the way, the police done their job the first time, that cute little bracelet that they have was after the GPS tracker. That would be real convenient for people that were going to reoffend, but that's just me.
Most of those, like ankle monitors have.
It was a bracelet, and I didn't want to make the comment earlier, but I'll just make it. People just a lot, so they probably just slapped them on the wrist. It was
so thinking. It was also thinking.
I mean, I'll say it. It's just weird how but you know, it had he been like any other color, you know, they would have like known his exact location and coordinates.
Yeah, if it was a non-violent crime.
Non-violent crimes.
But anyway, so he said, like you said, he went to his mom's and took her to CVS and took her to Whole Foods or whatever.
Oh, so they've never found any receipts for this.
Yeah. So then let's get into these Google searches really quick.
So before he goes to his mother's house and makes his kids breakfast, let's find out what he was actually Googling, because this is interesting. This is what makes me want to cook my kids breakfast personally.
His wife was seen last time between 4 and 6 a.m. But at 4:55 a.m., he starts Googling things on his child, who's a 6-year-old. He's Googling them on his iPad. So the first question that he Googled was how long before a body starts to smell? Like, okay, so, you know, we're into like kind of like morbidly curious kind of things. That may not be like a super weird thing to search until you search like 10 other things, like how to stop the body from decomposing. Okay.
Well, I know the answer to that. Don't kill them.
Or the next question. How to embalm a body. He thinks he's gonna embalm a body in his like basement or something.
Oh shit! Let me get some 409 and some ammonia.
But here's my favorite one.
We're gonna do this.
My favorite one because it sounds like a bad BuzzFeed article. Like, you know, when BuzzFeed doesn't have anything else to write, and then they just write some crazy ass article like 10 ways to dispose of a body if you really need to. That's what he searched. If you really need to. I don't know why that gets to me, but does that not sound like a BuzzFeed article?
It does. But he also wants to research dismemberment.
Okay, he also searched how long for someone to be missing to inherit.
He honestly put more stuff in the search bar than I do when I watch pornography, and that's saying a lot.
Can you throw away body parts?
Can you disintegrate body parts in ammonia with one of them? Like something about what happens when you put a body in ammonia.
What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last
maximal tools for dismemberment.
Which, let's make a note of that one, because that's an interesting one. And can an identification be made with partial remains?
Absolutely, because we have things called fingerprints and footprints, and also your dental records can always be put in. But if you
I think it's funny you said how long does DNA last, like as if they don't have DNA from like million-year-old dinosaurs. Like it lasts forever.
like she was kind of like the in their mouth, she
Chile or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But old Walshe here, he's really a
DNA stop existing.
I don't know.
Okay, here's another one that sounds like a college thesis. Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. How to remove blood from a wooden floor.
You would think people would just watch true crime, like just one episode of true crime, and you would know. Don't ever get on your wooden floor, baby.
If you knew anything about true crime, like Ryan does not, then you would know anything that involves putting the body into pieces is the worst idea possible. If you could not do that, then that would be better. But I'm not giving advice for killers. I'm just saying that I think everybody knows it's like super messy.
Well, I mean, I can answer all of these people. We just don't kill somebody that we don't be.
Well, can you answer the last thing that he Googled? Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them?
Well, well, actually, that is kind of a good question. Let's just. Well, throw it away and I find it. That's you're getting rid of evidence.
And then you wash it and find it.
But if you wash it, it's not. Well, it depends on what it is. Now, if it's white and you get blood on it, that bleach is never going to get that stain out. But if it's red and you get blood on it and you get kind of a stain out, are you going to be able to do like testing on it to see if that actual blood's in there?
You could test it to see if it is blood, but you may not be able to tell if like the actual blood was compromised. That it may not be like a valid test for like to withhold import. You know what I'm saying? Uphold import.
It's uses child's iPad.
It's 6-year-old baby.
My daughter 6, and I get just a bunch of going on there with Paw Patrol and Princess Alice and big.
Should be popping up.
And can you imagine this 6-year-old son? He has his iPad. Let's say like his dad never got caught or anything, and then he goes on his Google search history and
there's parts of the trash can. So that was all just from day one. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. There's a whole other day of it, and on this whole other day,
we're day 2. Day 2 of the day.
Maybe check your burner kind of body. Can you identify a body with broken teeth? He Googled those little few little things, and then he took his ass to Home Depot. And I just have a question. What's the most you've ever spent on cleaning products in one go? Like, you just moved into a new house. If you were to go buy all new cleaning products to, like, put, like, toilet bowl cleaner in your bathroom and, you know, like, dishwasher stuff and, like, everything, like, how much money do you think you could spend on cleaning supplies in one go?
Oh, like $5. If I go to the
$5. But not a Trub Daddy, $5.
You go to the Daddy shout out Daddy Guys to
Allies also is like they literally like use that to restore man's.
Okay, well I'm fucking
No, and there's also this from the Dollar Tree. What is that? It's called LA's Totally Awesome, and it comes out of Dollar Tree. Yeah, or you don't have to. You don't have to. It's like fabulous. It's fabulous. Yeah, dilute it or use it like a.
I like it to smell real good. Like when you open it, it's like a murder mystery smell. You know what I mean? Like, did she kill somebody today? Did she Google? But no, I would spend $5, but it would actually technically be probably more like $8.
So I'm being like totally honest on this. I love cleaning supplies, not as much as Emerald Reed. I don't know if you know those, but I love cleaning supplies. You know, okay, dainty girl. But anyway, just to the. Usually on the same rabbit hole. But anyway, so I love cleaning supplies, but like I think I could probably spend like $80 on like a $80 jug, like these scrub daddies, these sponges, like the Lysol toilet. Because you're right, I'm a good amount of money. $10. Okay, okay, because I like the little. I like to smell it. You have to remember, I only bought a Google Home display to sit on my sink just so when I wash dishes, and that's the most torturous part of my day, Dr. Phil.
So you make good choices of having nice jobs. I made bad choices now too. So obviously the cleaning supplies, you're better at cleaning than I am.
$10, whatever.
I like that, baby.
That is nothing compared to $450
Cash.
in cash.
Cash.
Thanks. Why should the bank can get $450 to get cleaning supplies?
For cleaning supplies.
Because you have to get a tie-back suit. Tie-back suits.
It's where, like, if you're doing stuff, you zip yourself up.
Yeah.
It's white.
You go in Monsters Inc. They're like, oh, we got a code, whatever, the code white somewhere. And then they have to, like,
Oh, yeah.
and those dudes have suits with a mask, and they come and they're like, stand to get shady monsters, or whatever.
Maybe you should have done that.
I got one of those. Got a suit. Like, those for $50, you can got a tie-back suit.
So he does outfits for
It's like that they wear in all those, dude. Like when somebody has 3 feet of feces and dead kittens in their house, they put on this suit. I bought one of those.
What's tricky about this? Just saying,
And they $1 million properties.
right, right. And when you see him in the court videos, he's like this.
Just shovels.
I'm sorry, I can't do a swear head. I'm gonna do my hair swear.
Right there, yeah.
No, you're not. You're not ugly at all.
They're not as ugly as you. Ugly at all. I mean,
It's not me to say that.
but so
Yeah, this is honestly, I'm just convolved from all this idiocy and
the suit, buckets, a bucket and a mop,
That's a wet.
and a drop cloth, multiple kinds of tape, and he spent $450 in cleaning supplies, which is literally, that is chaos. Like, how?
And by the way, Ryan, let me just say some fun facts. If you're gonna go to Home Depot, you have to know that they have cameras. You know who doesn't have cameras? The 99 cent store. Where you could have bought your dollar. They might have cameras on them. Not as good as Home Depot. I don't know, but not as good as Home Depot there, Brian. Home Depot will have you at the checkout smiling like this, putting in your car.
Walmart will be like talking to you. It's like, better have a good day now. I'll be like, okay, come on.
My favorite thing about Walmart is when you use Walmart Pay, they don't give you a receipt back when you walk out the store. They're always like, man, can I see your receipt? And I'm like,
No. One time a lady made me take my receipt out of the trash can, but that's another tale. I'm going to tell you another time. Because that's that we could have just. Okay, I told her, I was like, once I went and dug it out of the trash can, I gave it to her, and I handed it to her, and then I continued to walk out the door, and I was like, enjoy reading that, and then I left. Because I knew, and I don't know, she was really upset me when she made me take my receipt. Beautiful. Well, I came out at Walmart one day, and waiting because I was dig out the dirty trash can. But anyway, so I would have carried it out too. So after that day that he got all those Home Depot supplies, the next day it's January 3rd, and he has one more day of Googling things like
3 days to Google shit. Like, get it all out of the line.
things, and then he just thought of like what happens to hair on a dead body. Which, I mean, I'll be honest, has he never like seen like National Geographic them showing a mummy that like still literally has hair? What does that have to do with girls?
What are you trying to make love to your wife one last time?
What happens to hair? Probably because it has DNA, and he wanted to know if, like, he, like, you know, cut it up, what would happen to it.
That's a lot of solution on the scale of everywhere.
It probably is. Like, what is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to a surface in the woods? It was really specific on that Google search.
Well, personally, but I think that's a good question.
I think it's a good
I
question.
don't think it's a good question. I think that's
It's not about, I mean, it's a bad question. Yeah.
Okay. No, when I was the first or second grade, remember we had those things where we got those plastic cups and you put like trash in them to see what would decompose faster if it was in like things with a plastic bag. Obviously, plastic is going to keep you from.
It's going to keep bugs from like getting into the thing.
Oh, I was going to say you're going to decompose faster if you're in the ground.
But that's what I was going to say. Yeah, if it's like humid and things like that, and then it could like heat it up. So I think it depends on like the environment that it's also. Is it buried? Is it the bag buried?
Okay, let's take a poll in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that a body will decompose faster?
Don't Google it.
And don't Google it, please.
That's cheating.
Do you think it would decompose faster in the woods or faster in the plastic bag? Comment below, let us know, and we'll actually reveal the answer on next week's podcast.
How are we gonna know, Bevan? You have some like evil plan?
No, I'm gonna
You're gonna Google it? Okay.
Well, history was their history by now.
So he also asked him baking soda to make a body smell good.
Baking soda. I got baking soda.
Which, you know that baking soda is like in like deodorants and stuff, but I don't think that's what he means. But anyway, so January 3rd, he stopped Googling things. Do you want to know why? It's because on January 4th, Anna was reported missing by her job. The father of her children didn't really seem to be very worried. He even had called some of her friends. It's like, hey, I haven't heard from my wife in a few days. I'm sure everything's fine.
So I'm married to somebody who's a was bigger than you. Never besides the children, dogs, and stuff. But did your husband notice if he hadn't heard from you for like 2 hours?
Of course, but also, like, I think that they were obviously, you know, on good terms, they were fighting, whatever. However, she was, like, very, very, like, obsessed with being a mom and having children and things like that. They had 3 boys. She would just leave her 3 kids and just not call them. I'll just be like, hi, see you later, be options. I have fun because there's pizza in the fridge. Whatever.
I thought we just square, SpongeBob square looking down.
So I just think that I just don't think that makes sense. Yeah. And so she, like I had said before, she had a flight booked to DC because that's where she was working, and she never made it to the airport.
I almost wonder if he had Google something stupid on his phone, like how much money would you get in life insurance, or if he had asked her a question about life insurance, and she like had a flash like, oh my god, he's about to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she was trying to get on the leave.
Yeah, like with the inheritance services. Who knows what else he Googled? And I'm gonna be honest. When my husband Googles stuff on his phone and it's connected to like every Google in the whole house, Google will like recommend, like, is this what you're searching for? Earlier, which my husband doesn't search for anything bad, but it's like constantly like Joe Mets Pro and Innova disc golf, whatever, and I'm like,
how many calories is corn nuts or like something crazy like that?
Something stupid. Yeah, and I'm like, Google, like, I want to see Steve Wilkos people fighting. Craziest moments on Judge Judy.
They're my favorite people watchers. Nothing to do with anything. But if you're ever, this might be a true crime thing, but if you ever really want to see aggressive people fight, YouTube MLB best fights for like 2019, 2017. You will see men in Scott pants beating the crap out of each other. It's like it's prime material, to be honest with you. Think about it for that.
I'll read it on the.
Well, that's my Google search, but we're not talking about Mr. Is. I'm not Googling how to discover a face.
I mean, I might, but not like all of these consecutively one time. It might one time be like, hey, oh my god, how long does it take to suffocate? Saying you have those weird thoughts, but it wouldn't be like multiple things. Like, how long does it take to suffocate someone? How do you know someone's dead? How do you get rid of a body? It's like aggressively getting worse and worse.
Like a few it's like a mentality, and if it squeezes, you know, they're large.
And medically trained. So I'm just telling you,
in high school they told us during like a drunk driving thing, sometimes you make sure that they're alive if they can't get a pulse fix. Is that not true?
I think it just depends, because like if someone's paralyzed, well, they won't be able to give you. So I think that pulse is more.
But I'm starting. I don't know where I got the finger.
I don't know, but whenever my rat, he was put to sleep, they touched his eyeball to see if she was dead. So I mean, there's that to touch their eyeball.
This is that podcast on YouTube.
Also weird. But yeah, so anyway.
Speaking of buttholes, back to Brian.
Her job reported her missing, and that was obviously like she was like a powerhouse at work, and she was like one of these like and so she wasn't just gonna not get on a flight and be show up to like some major events that they were having. And you know, little Brian, he needed to go back to Lowe's January 4th because he needed to get more cleaning things, like a squeegee, their trash can things, which I think is crazy. We also put men's clothing because I guess he Googled
Lowe's.
This is at a different store. I think it went men's clothing, and I think that the result for should you wash your clothes or throw them away was probably throw them away on Google. I'm assuming that because he went and bought new clothes. And then also, they had found like some bath mats in a trash can later. I'm only mentioning that now because he also bought new bath mats. My husband has never bought an ethic. I'm not saying no men do it. I'm not saying they don't. But my husband has never went and just out and just a bath mat.
Hey, baby, I just, that fuchsia pink that we had going on, I decided to change it to a rose gold pink with some 350 calories, reds or whatever, for your pink hair all the time. Well, that's normal.
Hey, babe, I got you 6 more gallons of Clorox that you needed.
Keep those lights white.
I got you a few boxes of baking soda, a few pallets of baking soda.
Maybe he was gonna be. Well, you know what? Maybe he had watched one too many episodes of Breaking Bad.
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
Well, it's funny because like I've never seen the entire series or whatever. But like I guess they try to cut up a body in there. They put a body in a bathtub. They have no idea what they're doing. And then I guess they like manufacture meth, which I don't know if that has anything to do with baking soda, but I think that
I heard about it. I've heard of it.
don't know. But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anything about drugs. But anyway, sorry, this is true crime, but I don't know anything about that. But he also apparently had like put the seats down in his car and put like a plastic liner in the car. And the police were like, that's kind of weird, unless you're like going deer hunting or something. That's kind of weird, right?
Begging prostitutes.
Or begging prostitutes, which he could have been doing, except for that they found blood. Yeah, just like Enrique Rochi's car, they found blood in the car, and they just like I guess left it there and was like, "Genius! I'm getting away with this."
They also found like what surgical gloves too.
So they went and searched a dumpster around his mom's house, and they found surgical gloves.
Wait, he actually went into Home Depot and he was wearing a mask and surgical gloves.
A black mask and blue surgical gloves. But he also, they had went and somebody had seen a dude in a Volvo that looked like, that he looked kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants. And so they're like, that must be Brian. And of course, I knew it was
not just like
he has a Volvo.
He's from Poland. You haven't seen Volvo.
So no, Volvos are reliable German.
And I did find who drove a Volvo, and they were not the puzzle.
Nick, the car or the guy?
Nick.
Yeah, well, he wasn't maybe.
It ruined Walshe for me forever.
Well,
at least I didn't Google how to something.
I'll tell you something off tape. But anyway, so on January 5th, that's when he actually dumped the stuff that you're talking about the next day. He dumped the shit. He drove around in his Volvo to multiple different apartments and to a dumpster by his mom's house and threw stuff away in like multiple different apartments. Which I'm gonna be honest, sometimes if I have like a bunch of boxes in my room, I have maybe possibly thought about illegally dumping them in someone's apartment complex that I used to live in. So it's almost like reparations. But not saying that I did do that, but I thought about it. But I'm telling you, I think there's 3 different apartments and dumping heavy ass bags that he was caught on film with. So like heavy bags of stuff that he possibly used a hacksaw to break down. Which I just want to say, do you know what a hacksaw is? I didn't know what a ball hammer was, so I had to Google that.
A hacksaw is rigid.
It's just one of those like.
Oh God! Oh, it's a saw.
Yes.
Why would you like do that?
Why don't you get one of those electric ones that has like spinning or something like they use in surgery?
Like a saw.
Yes, like they literally use in surgery, like if you need like amputate or whatever. What is wrong with him? That's what he needs to tie that suit, bro.
That screams very American Psycho to me.
It's super crazy, and he spent $450 in cleaning supplies. He couldn't get like a $60 like.
I don't know. I just like to ask people if you're going to commit crimes, like, don't commit them at all, number one, but number two, like, what fucking goes through y'all's mind, y'all's thought process? Like,
there was no plan. That's why I say he botched it from.
Well, if it's a crime with passion, I have enough passion to like not be so. I mean, just be like, I did it. I'm stressed out. I did it. Stop trying to hide it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so we were talking about most of the dumpsters were already like taken in the incinerator. It's a simple spot. But the stuff that was in the dumpster by his mother's house that he got lost going to that time, but now he knows where like convenient dumpsters are located there. He's like more familiar with the area than
his mother's house, but he can find his way to 3 different apartment complexes.
And a dumpster by his. He didn't know anything. But anyway, so they did find a bag of garbage there. And of course, you can't say for sure that the blood is hers yet because they haven't, said it in court or whatever. But I can tell you for sure that it was her vaccine card, like for sure.
Yeah, and it was vaccine card.
And it was her thousands of dollars expensive ass product.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Look at the boots that she was wearing when she went missing.
That pissed me off. Are you going to buy the product bag? What did you put
It shows you that it wasn't any thought put into that, because if he was giving her for money, then he would have.
But you know what that gets me? That gets me jealous in this amount. Like this is how I kind of see it because I'm just reading into it. Probably whatever. But okay, you have this gorgeous wife. She's a provider. She's a boss bitch. She has all these nice things. She's Western, Eastern European. She's gorgeous. You're a failure. You're
on house arrest for selling fake moral.
You're not like good enough for them to put you on Real House arrest or whatever. Like you literally are a succubus on your beautiful wife. But throwing away that product bag, that says a lot to me because that shows intent with jealousy. Like, we're sorry that you can have product bags in your life, Ryan, which is probably what you wanted. But, I mean, you didn't have to throw hers away. You didn't have to throw her away either, but apparently you just like trash.
And see, they always say, like, out of body, it's like done on a case, but it's not impossible. That's why Enrique Orochi was only charged with kidnapping. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't want to lose the case. And Christina took the jeopardy. So they didn't want to lose the case, and they didn't want something like Christine's body to be there 4 years later and him be able to get, like now in the whole thing. Or in the top either. So we don't know where Anna is. We don't know if she'll come down. We have no idea.
We didn't know a lot about the discovery either because
it's poor. Peter Bryan's lawyer doesn't really exactly know what's going on because they did a search on his house. They stopped the search on his house. They found a bloody knife in his face. They found stuff in his car, slippers with blood on them, trash bags with blood, a hatchet, the rugs that I told you that he threw away that he probably would have done. Well, she doesn't actually. She said that she hasn't been given any or she doesn't know.
Honor. I'm okay with a continuance, but we haven't been given anything in discovery. I literally know nothing. I haven't been given anything. Yeah. I don't know nothing. How do we even know that my client did it? I know nothing. They have not given me anything, and I don't even know that I need a month because why would they not give me anything? I have nothing, Your Honor.
I'm sure that them giving evidence to the media is a sign that they have a weak case.
She's like, we don't even have his arrest warrant for this.
And I'm not sure that I will get all the information I need from the discovery.
I don't have everything. She doesn't seem like a Karen. She seems like a Pam. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. No?
Who is Pam? We got Karen and Pam.
Karen. But Pam sounds like she's a Pam. Like she's a Pam.
Me and Chrissy used to have Snapchat person up. We used to have these two characters that we would play as Tammy. And it was basically 1,000 pound sisters. Yeah, I remember. Okay, but at that time, 1,000 pound sisters wasn't like a thing yet. I mean, they were on YouTube, but we thought we were totally original.
We thought we were so big a scam before they became TLC.
That's it. Tammy and Pam. And Tammy and Amy.
All right, no, viewers, go in the comments below and tell us what you like better. Are we renaming Karens to Pam, or are we just leaving Pam?
Pam.
Pam and you call weirdos Kevin?
Karen Pam.
We know a little Kevin. That's pretty weird.
We don't know. Like Mariah Carey. I don't know.
Not sure.
Who's that? So they searched the house or whatever to find anything. I don't know, whatever. Blah. They stopped searching. They cleared out boxes of stuff, but they didn't find a body. They had shovels out.
Discovery, so they have to get several things to put it together and 6-year-olds and iPads.
No, I forgot to mention that Brian was arrested, but he's charged with misleading the investigation. So he's in custody when they're finding the hacksaw that I'm assuming he Googled, and someone said that was a good idea to use to dismember a body. Which I think that it was like back in like the Civil War or something.
You use sulfuric acid with nitric acid, it disintegrates everything. But that's just a little bit of science for me. And here, I mean, you're not going to be able to get that stuff like off the street. So science teachers, it's your.
I can't tell you how to get rid of a body, but I can tell you how.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Not on the wooden floors.
People tried and failed.
Don't do it on wooden floors. You can't do it on the linoleum floors.
I'll bury like dozens of boys under your home and cover them with lye. Eventually, people will find out during your church service if you're out. That's John Wayne Gacy.
I know who it is. That's why I'm laughing. I'm actually. How do you spell her last name? Who?
Walshe.
Thank you. I'm looking up his attorney's name because her name is
Trisha.
Her name is Tracy.
Tracy.
She looks like Sam, I'm sorry, we're going to
Tracy. That's. I like Tracy. It's Tracy anymore, except for like
Tracy sounds like
except for Tracy Morgan. But he's a guy, so
yeah,
that's good for him. I think Tracy's good for him. But I don't know. Anyway, so this obviously, like I said, we don't have an ending for this. This is just
to be continued.
Yeah,
as we continue. Marital advice: if you're ever struggling for finances, don't murder your significant other.
Don't take marital.
Why?
Because you're not married.
I am not married.
I never have been.
Let me tell you something. The reason I never got married is because I was selling true crime and I didn't want to end up in the midlife. Because when they tell people like, oh, she loved her, nobody's going to say that about me. Like she was obnoxious, called her batshit legend. We thought that she was going to be the murderer most of the time. So we're real highly surprised that she ended up being the victim.
Have you heard that Gigolo song by Louis Prima?
No, she didn't say below. Go ahead, I'm just Gigolo. Never. I'm not a gigolo. I don't use services. I just be out here in the street.
Anyway, we're gonna play that at you know.
I'm just a jail.
Yeah.
It
also says I ain't got nobody. No one hears about me.
No. What's that? I got 99 problems, but a 81. Like that.
We can say but a 7 ain't one.
But a husband ain't.
So we can say but a 7 ain't one.
But a husband ain't next. I got one of those. Like I practice in this.
Nothing's gonna be your problem with that.
I'm gonna go back. No, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're ever married and you murder me, you do it poorly, I'm gonna come back and watch you, and every day you're gonna be like, you fucking can't. You stop. You can't hide bodies.
When I die peacefully in my sleep, just put me in a hefty bag on the curb and with the trash taking.
I'll Google and disintegrate her body. The hefty bag.
What's gonna happen to your hair?
I want to cut it off and
save it.
Your eyes look really good.
You did them. That was on that Saturday, the day after you did them. Was the day that you did them. I was like, oh my god, I did a video. Freaking,
it's entertaining. I said, like,
they were very swollen, so got you.
I did 2 people's faces for a living. And I'm husbandless.
This whole face, she did this whole face.
Not the whole thing.
But anyway, we don't know what happened with Anna. I hope they find her soon. And I mean, the police are presuming she is not alive. But I mean, anything is too fast. But either way, I hope that Brian's not in prison if he did this, which it looks like he did, in my professional opinion.
In my unprofessional opinion, no, I've never been married. Yeah, he definitely. He even looks guilty. If you go Google him, I'm sure our producer's putting up a picture of him. SpongeBob
was disheveled, like in court today. He looked really bad. He like grew a beard and stuff, and not that beards are bad, but it was very
But he's sad. He doesn't even look like he's on trial for murder. He's just sitting there like he's doing his Google searches. You know what I mean? Very like, okay, Your Honor, great, Your Honor. Honestly, and John with a bunch of his boyfriends like he always did from the beginning. So he's really happy, you know what I mean? He's really there telling everybody how his wife got prodded back, that beer,
you know, that turkey.
That turkey. But I guess that's the end of today's discussion.
We'll post another video sometime.
We'll post another video
Someday.
sometimes. The reason we don't do it consistently, we've talked about, is because we like to be like the people committing crimes. You never know when we're gonna
Erratic.
You never know if we're gonna murder your lives with another drinks and discussions.
Enriching your minds and encouraging you to make connections.
She enriches your minds. I usually murder them.
Yeah, there's 10 IQ points dumber when they.
Because I told Anita to defend myself here. My dad told me to never get married, and let me tell you why. And then we'll end it here. My dad always said that if I ever got married, that one of these days when I had someone try to take me on a cruise ship and I could never go, because I would definitely be one of those cases where the husband pushes the woman overboard and you can't find her body because, sharks.
Yeah,
So that's why I never got married.
I never saw sharks, but I did see dolphins, and
There's dolphin with me?
no, I think they went RAU. SAU. SAU. That's what I meant.
That'd be more actually, but I've had 6 months.
I just threw something in my head. Was that your tail? You just threw a piece of your tail in my head? Anyway, I think it's time to end this, but we love y'all so much. We'll see you sometime.
We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. Come back. And also, remember, go in the comments, type your favorite part, and also let us know, do you think it'd be easier for a body to disintegrate in a plastic bag
Or on the surface in the woods?
Let us know.
Let us know.
We'll see you next week, guys.